everybody. Jo Duke here from the Caloundra Regional Art Gallery. This is In Conversation with Artists. We're very excited to have Samantha Mays on the floor with us today. She was our 3D highly commended work for her beautiful piece, Head in Sand, which we see behind us. But first and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we gather on today, the Gubbi Gubbi and the Yinabara peoples. They were our first artists, our first singers, dancers, art makers, sharers of culture, and they continue to have this extraordinary connection to the lands that we love, play, work on. And walk beside us, I'd like to acknowledge the elders past, the elders that are currently here, and the elders that are coming through, who are working with us to celebrate this amazing place we call the Sunshine Coast. So, hello Samantha, how are you?
Hello, I'm good.
That's good. So this is the first time for Samantha to not only be doing a conversation with us, but also to have been one of our finalists in the Sunshine Coast the local contemporary art prize. I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe down the track we might do 3D for the Sunshine Coast National Art Prize, but not at the moment. And we were so excited that Samantha actually got highly commended for her amazing small-scale sculptural pieces and jewellery pieces that are so beautiful. But I'll give a bit of a rundown on Samantha before I start, Samantha. So please, I've got to read, so apologise. So Samantha lives and works and makes on Gubbi Gubbi country at the Sunshine Coast. She's fascinated by the performative attributes of adornment, and I totally understand that, because when I have a ring on, I do glamorous hand throws because it's something that I love. A conceptual jewellery artist and metalsmith. She works in various mediums, be it metal, concrete, Bessebrick, paint, and found objects. Her work in contemporary jewellery sculpture draws from a wish to transcend disciplinary boundaries, which I really love that idea, and I think we'll expand on that when we're chatting. Her artwork serves as a narrative about objects that hold power to evoke personal and collective memory and introspective. A lot of the work she crafts tells a story, evocative, critical inquiry, emotions, or remembering. Other works highlight some of the world's and individuals' challenges that we live in now. Her pieces are not mere adornments, they are sculptural forms that embody a personal and or narrative. Art that is intimate, wearable, living in close dialogue with the body, heart and mind, which I love. I love that statement. You completed a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Deakin University, back a while ago, and an advanced diploma in jewellery and object design from the Design Centre in Sydney, at the Sydney Institute. Exhibition work has been central to her practice. You've been in extensive exhibitions since about the 2000s and onwards, and has been the winner of several awards, including this one for our 3D. All right, so welcome Samantha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's jump into it. So I like that the whole comment about mind, body and soul that you try to have your works sort of sing or talk about. Can you expand a little bit on that one?
Yes. Well, I love this art form as miniature sculpture, and instead of being on a plinth, the body is the plinth.
Yeah.
And so it's more intimate. So it's there to always remind us, or to always make us think.
Yes.
Depending on the piece, of course. With mind, body, and soul. Yeah.
Because it's interesting with this work that was the highly commended 3D, because it's just beautifully made, just absolutely beautifully made. But there's some really interesting components, because it's that traditional metalsmith, so the silver and a touch of gold. Yes. But then there's also found objects, dice, etc. Can you explain this one a little bit more? Because I think that will give a good indication of where your thinking is when you conceptualise.
This installation's a commentary about the divisive polarisation that's infecting the world today.
Yep.
So with social, political and religious divisions just growing and becoming ever more...
Worse and worse.
Yes, they're becoming worse. Then people aren't questioning they're not engaging in critical analysis, and basically, you know, all the algorithms as well, they are justifying their, you know, point of view and making it a lot worse. And so I wanted to address that
and so
with this.
Therefore, the head in the sand.
So head in the sand, one ring. So the rings have a found object, which is the dice, and one on top, you can see the whole viewpoint or side, and then you get around the edge, I've cut away the silver, and you get mere glimpses of different aspects, different sides, different arguments, if you will.
Nice.
And so it's asking us, it's reminding us to think about the various sides and open ourselves up to critical analysis. There's not enough debate in the world.
Yes,
you know, it's this free speech, but if people think free speech is getting up on a soapbox and just declaring, you know, but I think free speech has got to be about freeing up your mind as well, opening your ears and listening to different points of view.
Yes.
Is so integral.
And hence
to
the other one
advancing.
is head in sand.
Yes,
because people don't.
So that one's with the head in the sand. It lives in a dark realm. So no chinks of light, no fractured, ideas get in, and it lives just in darkness with rigid conformity and eyes shut.
Yeah.
So it doesn't want to change. There's so many people like that, especially on online platforms.
Definitely, and that's I think in this world you can have somebody's opinion shoved in your face really quickly and not being able to really answer. And I mean, the work itself is glorious as art pieces unto themselves. So I would buy one. I wouldn't possibly know all of the ins and outs that you're talking about, but to me, as we know, all people look at art in different ways and are informed in different ways and bring their own background. My family is has very much a gambling side. So for me, I look at it and go, oh my gosh, it's all about gambling and all of that. So I think that's quite funny. So when I saw it, it really resonated with me. So, I think artwork is so successful when it resonates. So
yes, exactly.
With your audience.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to have a little bit more, and I do have questions that we usually ask just because I can go off on tangent and get lost in a rabbit hole of interest.
Yeah, me too.
So I guess how and when did you first become interested in art?
I don't know.
So you went to study back in those early days. At uni. Was it always art that you were interested in from school?
Yes, I did visual art, like painting mainly, a little bit of sculpture and political science, but when I was younger, I guess, my parents were very artistic. My mum loved painting and drawing. She wasn't, she was good, but she didn't carry it on, but she had a love of art. And so we would go to galleries and so forth.
Oh, how lovely when you were young.
Which is nice, yes. And she would talk about her favourite pieces.
Nice.
And my dad was not visually creative, but he was a writer and a deep thinker and reading, like literature, all through our lives as well. And I think that helps with an artistic practice. I remember he worked in the National Library in Canberra. And as kids, we used to go along and wait for him, and we used to play on the Henry Moore sculpture. And that stayed with me, that beautiful sculpture.
That's great. Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess perhaps it's come from that.
Yeah. So it also always surrounds you. But so you trained originally in painting and sculpture.
Yeah.
And what
more
made
painting.
you more painting? So what made you go into that sort of 3D and body adornment area, do you think? I think you went to... you were out in the world for a while before you decided
I was travelling
to go
around
and
doing all sorts of things. It was maybe 10 years later or more. I've been travelling a lot and come back, and I don't know, I was at a bit of a loose end, and I wasn't painting really. I had done bits and pieces, and I did this little night course.
Oh, right.
And just went, wow, I love actually, you know, the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Melding of
moulding
material
and
and-
making
yeah.
and hammering and cutting and hammers are my favourite tools.
Really?
I just
Oh, my
love my
goodness.
hammers. Yeah, yeah.
That you don't hear that every day. Oh, I love my hammers.
Yeah.
More than one. I think I don't know where mine is.
Going to hardware stores or tool stores, that's my favourite thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Better than clothes shopping.
So I guess that leads us into, so you moved away from that 2D and painting. So what's your favourite medium? I mean, you work in lots of material. But
Yeah, I
which
do.
one's the
I like
favourite?
probably silver. I would say for its strength and structure, but also it can just be so soft and beautiful. I guess 18-karat gold is also beautiful. I don't work with that much, especially at the prices.
Yes, yes.
Tiny little bit there.
Yeah.
I do love silver, but I love working with unusual materials.
Such as that
combining
beautiful
it
necklace
with-
you've got.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. So this is aerated concrete.
Yeah. And then combine it to change, to keep its structure but change the way you look at it, maybe?
Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I would never look at aerated concrete and think, hey, that's going to make a nice piece.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So I love that idea that you can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
materials in different ways and the possibilities, which I think is,
Yes.
obviously part of the artistic side of yours and your probably the way of you conceptualise how you do that. That's amazing. What's probably the strangest piece of material you've worked with that you've reincorporated?
Maybe chocolate.
Chocolate. You made
Yes.
some chocolate.
I did a series about rivers for one exhibition, and the river lines were I filled with chocolate, with blood, but it wasn't real blood, coal, all sorts of different
Wow.
things,
Okay.
depending on the site of the river and the
Wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
So that was
Very
I don't know.
ephemeral.
I've worked with some unusual things, and it all depends. Sometimes the material, I just look at a material and love it, and think, oh, I've got to do something with this. And other times it's the concept that then makes me think
Informs.
about
Okay.
what
So for
material
this
would be
piece, was
best.
that would you have done sketches?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did a lot of sketches and carvings and so forth.
Yeah.
And this one's based on Le Corbusier's Cathedral Church, Ronchamp. Yeah. And so
Wow.
I did a whole series of these different aspects, and concentrating on the little windows, the
Windows,
apertures
yeah.
that are tiny on the outside, and then on the inside
Are
it's
quite
opened
big.
up, and
Yeah.
it's glorious
Oh,
piece. Yeah.
what amazing. See, these underlaying expansion of your conceptual idea is extraordinary. Because to me, they're just these beautiful monuments with this...
It's very monumental.
It is very monumental, but with this also negative, positive space.
Yes,
that
that's
shows
right.
yourself
Yeah.
through it. So
Yes.
it's quite
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Anyway, I've got, see, rabbit holes, gone down a rabbit hole. Okay, so what was your greatest influence in your work, do you think?
Greatest
Obviously,
influence
travelling
on my
has
work.
helped. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's-
travelling helped. Let's see. Well, when I was studying, I went and worked at Object.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's running anymore, unfortunately.
No, well, it's
sad.
now the Australian Design Centre.
Oh, that's good.
So it's just sort of changed its name and its place. So I worked when it was in Customs House,
Oh,
right on
right.
Circular
Yes,
Quay, and then
beautiful.
again later when it moved to Surrey Hills.
Yes.
And now hopefully it's being saved. Hopefully.
Oh, good, because it's a
Yes.
really important
It
organisation.
is,
Like
yeah.
it's
Talking
pivotal.
about Australian Design
Yes,
Centre.
the Australian Design Centre, who were Object, and was one of the most pivotal groups, I think, in allowing experimental sculptural
Yes.
aspects to happen within the Australian
Yes.
sort of psyche on jewellery. You push the boundaries, push what bulbs could be,
Absolutely.
all of those fabulous things.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
amazing,
So important.
is and was and is and still will be, hopefully, an amazing organisation.
Yes.
So you worked with them for a while.
Yeah, and mainly so just on installation
Right.
of shows, sometimes sitting. But I remember we did the Biennale in 2000, Sydney Biennale.
Oh, right, yes.
And Rosalie Gascoigne's work was there, and I was like, oh my God. And we had Yayoi Kusama. God,
Yes.
it's terrible with her name.
Yes.
Huge piece, but
Yep.
it was Rosalie Gascoigne that really spoke to me. Her work is just so
All those
beautiful.
found objects and just
and the
reusing
corrugated
them.
iron,
Oh,
you know,
beautiful.
steel magnolias,
Yeah.
And not, you know, I saw so many different exhibitions
Yeah.
come through. Contemporary jewellery, ceramics, glass, artists like Kira Iskawa,
Yes.
all sorts of things. And so I think that had a big influence on me, I would say. Really sort of opened up my
What
thinking.
jewellery could be, or
Yeah.
it becomes more small-scale sculpture that happens to also be adornment.
Yes,
with-
that's right. And the Grey Street Collective. I don't know if you know
no, I
Grey
don't
Street
know.
in
No.
Adelaide. They had an exhibition there as well. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, the exhibiting side
Yeah.
of
When I first started working in galleries, I started in Toowoomba, and they had the Toowoomba Wearable
yes.
Biennale, and that blew my mind because I had sort of,
Yeah.
I come from a very what jewellery was considered traditional. Rings look like this, earrings
Yes,
look like that,
yeah.
and your brooch. You very rarely wear a brooch because they weren't in at that time. And so to see some of these like neck pieces and back pieces, were
Yeah.
just phenomenal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
that's a great
wonderful.
show.
Oh, it's a really good one, and it broadens what people think about what jewellery can do for the wearer and talk
Yes.
about when people are wearing it. So I think that's extraordinary. Can you describe your most memorable, outside of this one of course, moment in your career?
No.
No, that's okay. You've had lots of fabulous
I don't
things.
know. Yes. Most memorable moment in my career.
That's okay.
I really
if you
don't
just
know.
enjoyed it, have you enjoyed
Yeah,
your
I
career?
absolutely loved
Yeah.
my career. I just love getting my hands dirty.
Yep.
And I think lots of enjoyable moments is when you're working really hard, playing through making, trying to work things out. And all of us, and with this one, I did several iterations in copper first, or paper. Actually, I did paper. I did drawings. I did paper. Then I did copper. And it's like, no. Oh, it's just not working out. It's not doing what I want it to do, and I wanted it to be very simple. No frills and spills. It's when it all of a sudden clicks and goes, oh, this is it. This is the moment. This is what I'm. It's coming together.
Yep.
And that moment that I've realised what's going on in here and got it out here.
Yeah.
And I think they are memorable moments.
Yeah,
And that state of flow, and just sitting in the studio, happy.
Yeah. Do you work in series or do you work in one-offs? I suppose it
Both,
depends on the
but I do
material.
like doing series.
Yeah, because you mentioned your
this is a series. Yeah.
Is this going to be a series? The use of the dye.
I made 3 pieces. Well, actually, I made 4, but one is for me, and it's the reject. It's got this little, problem underneath. Some of the solder ran out when I was soldering on the top.
Yep.
And so it's not good enough to put out into the world, but it's good enough for me.
Yes.
And but I do love working in series, and each one is slightly different.
Well, because each
of
handmade, so
Well, yes, yeah.
So,
and then you're exploring something, and different iterations of an idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
So, I think I've got a question. Do you have a studio that you work in, or do you work from your kitchen table, or?
No. I have a studio in Kapi Kapi Country in Maroochydore, and it is my garage.
Yes.
So when I moved in, I was like, wow, this is a fantastic garage. Let's get this house.
Back in the day.
It's got this big window, and it had the garage door was perspex, so that all the light came through. And then, I was new to the Sunshine Coast at that time, although I'd been living in a very hot country. I was just melting.
Yes.
And so I had to put insulation all over it. I had to get air conditioning put in, and now it's very comfortable. And I'm slowly taking over more. It's a double garage,
Yeah.
but it's got, you know, all the horrible, you know, mowers and,
Yeah,
you know, all the other stuff
equipment.
in. So I'm slowly trying to take over more and more, hopefully.
Well,
and
there's
I'll
always
get rid
those
of that.
demountable sheds that you put in the
You
backyard.
tell my
for those.
husband that.
And
Yes, we
really,
need a garden
yeah,
shed.
a garden shed for the garden stuff.
Exactly.
We have a double garage that doesn't see any of the cars.
Yes.
So we've got a
Oh, yeah,
man
cars.
cave. I've got my
It's not for
desk.
cars.
I've got my art collection over in one
Yes.
corner. You know, it's. I don't think they should ever be called garages.
No,
because
exactly.
most people I know anyway don't use them as garages.
Yeah.
So and you've got a really nice setup that you're really happy. So do you have a?
Yes.
Are you regimented in your use of your studio? Do you go in at 9 and finish at 5? Is it that you go in when you get an exciting idea and
Yeah.
then spend 14 hours in there with food being pushed under the door?
Yeah, I'm there 8 in the morning till 6 at night every single day.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
I was going to say, oh my God, she's so
I am
dedicated.
so unregimented. It's not funny. And the terrible thing is it's next to the laundry. Now that's dangerous. And there's always stuff to be done in the house, and I hate that.
Yeah.
So I did love, like when I was in Sydney, I had a studio in Piermont.
You
And
had
that
to
was
go
lovely
to and
because
back
I went
from.
to it, and I was like, you know, but I didn't have kids then. That
Yeah.
helped. No, I guess I'm quite sporadic, and I would like to be more regimented. And
Do you
at
always
times
have a
when I've got a
sketch book
deadline
with you?
coming up. Oh,
For
yes.
ideas and things?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so technically you're your own studio because you carry it with you. There you go.
And I love
Justification.
catching public transport because
okay.
always these wonderful ideas pop into my head.
Oh,
So I've always
nice.
have to have a notepad or something.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So, and then you get an idea, and then you do these like marathons in the studio,
Yeah.
feeding kids as needed. And
Yeah. You're making dinner tonight.
you're old enough now. I've told you how to
My
make the
husband's a
spaghetti.
wonderful cook, so
That's handy.
Well, he's
That's really
brilliant.
good.
Brilliant.
So, what are you currently working on?
I am working on. I would like to do a series about Lake Air Katithanda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I flew. Like it's flooded.
Yeah,
you know, there's
yeah, yeah.
actually
And
water in
there's-
it, and only happens.
That's amazing.
A couple of
Yeah,
times.
and then all the
100 years or
flowers will come
whatever.
out.
Yeah, and so I said, oh, we've got to go. So we made a pilgrimage over there, and flew over, and oh God, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just the liminal spaces between the water and the land, and the colours that you get, you know, from the salt and all the algae, you know,
Was it
creates
really
different
pink?
colours
Was it
as
pink?
well. Parts were pink
Yeah,
and
okay.
white, and it can be
Oh,
yellow,
okay.
and then there's all the ochres and the land and little bits of green.
How amazing.
And so I'm experimenting with enamel and
Oh,
putting
nice.
on, trying to get textures and adding salt and just playing at the
Wow.
moment. So
Yeah.
there's nothing actually made.
Yeah.
It's all experiments
Yeah.
at the moment and trying to work out how I want to, yeah,
Respond to that.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
I can't wait to
that's,
see it.
that's what I'm working on.
Yes. And you also mentioned that you've got a show, you're in a show for Mother's Day at Mount Cootha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
So if you're needing some jewellery, talk to your partner or talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Mount Cootha, it's the
Yeah,
Queensland...
it's the Richard Randall Art Studio.
Yeah.
And it's the Queensland Jewellers and Metalsmiths.
Yeah,
group
so
of-
there'll be amazing
so
things. Saturday,
jewellers
Sunday?
from Queensland, Saturday and Sunday
Okay.
in the Botanic Gardens.
What time does it start?
10 till 4 it
10
is.
till 4.
Yeah.
So if you're in Brisbane and you've got a bit of spare time and you've got a
Get
bit
on
of spare
there.
cash, and go and have a look, because you'll just see phenomenal works. I think works
yeah.
that you won't get to see elsewhere. So you should.
And
come
usually
and
they're not as unusual. They're more
look. Well, that's
more
still
wearable,
good.
but always very different and
Always
contemporary.
Yeah.
And there's a huge range. So all
Yeah, that'd
Queensland
be good.
jewellers.
Yeah. So you actively exhibit as much as you can.
Yes.
Yeah, and is that hard for jewellers?
That's my passion, really. It is hard to find shows that, but it's becoming more and more acceptable,
Yeah.
which is wonderful, and wanted.
Yes.
So,
I think those bespoke pieces, those things that are different from everybody else, and in that contemporary aesthetic is really exciting to see hitting more markets. I think. And what's the one piece of advice that has stuck with you?
One piece of advice. I would just say my advice to people would be to play.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit in the studio or wherever you are and play. And I think thinking through making is really important to me. So, thinking through making and play. There we go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's good. So from that point of view, can I ask, do you do melted and formed works, such as your ring? That would have been a mould that you made and melted?
No,
or was that
it wasn't.
beaten?
No.
Are you more beating?
Yeah, so I cut out the silver and beat it. And,
Okay.
and this was actually I've got some old forks, some old wood, cutlery that I inherited, and I've just been carting it around from place to place to place. And said to my husband, do you mind if I cut it up and use it? Because, it's this beautiful, it's pure sterling silver.
Yeah.
And I've kept the little mark
Yep.
on it. I'll do something with those one
Yeah.
day. And so I've been rolling that out and reusing that and melting
So it's more
down.
beating than melting?
Yes,
Yes.
for me,
Okay,
yes,
that's
more
Your
cutting, hammering,
muscles
beating.
must be
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm building up. Yeah.
Oh, I've got our editor on the floor. Has there been any questions as yet, Lyndon? So if you've got any questions, please put them into the conversation. And if we don't get a chance to answer them, we will ask you them and then answer as well. I'm not sure how we're doing for time because
the
we've been
time
chatting.
advertised was incorrect. So
Was it?
probably, yeah.
Yes. So how are we doing for time, Lyndon? 10 minutes? Okay. So when you went overseas, what was your favourite place and what probably... How long ago was it? Was it before kids?
I did before kids and after. So
nice.
BK
Yeah,
with Europe and the UK mainly, which was just wonderful. And spending a few years in London, Scotland, a few years in Italy, up in the Alps as you do when you're young. Skiing at night and partying. Yeah, no, the other way around.
Other way. I was going to say skiing at night and partying during the day. Gosh. That's why you ski at night, once you party during the day. And did that sort of inform your aesthetic?
Definitely. I travelled to lots and lots of different, went to lots of galleries over there. So naturally that did, and the architecture as well. And after kids, as when I had my first baby, a month later, we moved to the Middle East.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So we were there for 14 years.
Gosh, that's a long time.
And the art scene there was wonderful as well. And there was the new Louvre that opened in Abu Dhabi and in Qatar, the most amazing exhibition galleries there as well. And travel is important for me. Yeah. And it definitely informs work.
So
opens the mind.
Have you done much around here? So you said you went to Lake Eyre, and that's informed. Is there areas around Australia that you travel to?
I haven't travelled enough in Australia, but I have definitely. But Lake Eyre, and I love doing the show at Merricanqura Scenic Reserve.
Oh yes.
Because we were just responding to
the nature.
To the gorgeous rainforest, little tiny pocket of rainforest that's so beautiful there, and really diverse for that little tiny area. And so the work in that exhibition was all about and I just got to walk around and and take it all in.
So did you do that, and then your response was the exhibition?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So is it often a concept, and then because you talked about sometimes it's the material and you'll make something from the material. Is that normal, or is it a concept and then you go for your material?
More for that sort of thing, it was concept. It was what do I want to do, and a series about the black bean seed pods. For example.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that was fun and working out. And so with that one, I carved into wood. So I made I carved into wood and then beat the metal, the silver, or I did some copper and brass as well. And forming it so that it was not on the stakes, because that would be too perfect. I needed it to be very organic. So that was a beautiful process.
Oh wow! So what's your biggest like, so it's mostly small scale. Have you done larger pieces?
Yes, with in relation to jewellery, I did a big wall piece once that was a canvas sort of loosely painted, and it had 4 different pieces of silver on it that were gradually degrading.
Oh, okay.
And it was all about assimilation, and that was for an exhibition that travelled around Australia a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I have done some larger pieces, but and I've done, but that wasn't really contemporary jewelry. But I did a big sculpture out of aerated concrete.
Oh, nice.
Vessels formed on top of each other.
But it's that idea of adornment is what sort of is important for you.
Yes, but I'm not limited to it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So if we were to want to see your work, so there's this coming weekend, where else? Have you got a website?
I don't. I'm very unprofessional.
So cheers.
And I'm shocking with technology. Really bad. Ask anyone.
So how do we know
anyone.
how to see your work?
Well, I with Instagram, I'm Studio Samantha Mays. Studio Samantha Mays on Instagram.
Okay, so we can check you out there.
Yeah, and so I've had to get into all the social media now, learn all about that. Yeah, and I'll let people know when I've got things coming up. And,
that'd be good.
Perhaps new gallery, but anyway,
Oh, that's exciting. So, if you're wanting to find out where you're at and you're making, so go to Samantha's Insta, or maybe contact us and we can say if we know where she's showing.
Yeah.
Because your work is amazing. So,
thank you.
it's I'd love to see more of it. So I think our audience would as well, and obviously our judge does, and lots of people comment on how beautiful the work is. We've had lots of audiences through, so that's been great. Not sure where you are on the tally of People's Choice. So if you haven't done People's Choice, get in, come, or you can go online and vote for your favourite from the local Contemporary Art Prize. I think it closes quite soon, so if you haven't voted, you need to vote, because that's always really lovely, because the artist gets $2,000, and the person who votes may be pulled out and get a $50 voucher for the shop, which is a win-win all round.
Yeah, it is.
So I think in the end, I don't think we've got any questions at this point. Might be too early, or people are just still settling into their cup of coffee, but we might get some else time. I love the idea of the physicality of your making, because I did some ceramics, so that making with the hand is always really lovely. Oh, it is, and that moving and having to think about in the round and how every side of the thing you're making has to be a response or talk about something, and it has to be working together. So I think that's great. But Samantha, any last comments? Because I think we're going to...
I think my last comment would be thank you very much for the 3D Excellence Award. Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah, it was lovely.
And I get to buy a new tool with the money. So
that's always good. Well, I meant to ask you about your tools. How's your tool set? So you've got hammers, you've probably got pliers, you've got
lots of
little saws.
Lots of pliers and saws. The saw blades are teeny. Lots of stakes and a hydraulic press and rolling mill. I mean, you're welcome to come around.
I'm going to have to come and play in your garage now that you've got it a little bit cooler. Anyway, thank you so much, Samantha. It's been lovely to have you. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if you've got any questions, don't forget to ask or come into the gallery. Thank you very much.